Hello to all my friends out there, and it's still hot here. So I got back to my shady spot, and that's my reflector. So the reflector, can you guys see it? Where is it? I put my reflector, I hope it's showing, up to block the sun. So this video is, let's see if I can do this. I'll do it under my reflector. Okay, now, see my reflector up there? Otherwise, the sun would be hitting me right in the eye. This video is 20 items for barter. Something happens, the currency collapses. In Venezuela, they don't want your money. If you want a bag of beans, you got to give them a bag of rice. So you want to be thinking about what if something happened, God forbid. 20 items for barter. I have a challenge for you guys. If you have a video, let me know so all my followers and I can see it. Or if you just want to comment items, good items for barter. That would be great. I'm writing all the comments in a little notebook. Item number 1, food and water. That is your most, I mean, sometimes if the water is contaminated in some of these floods, that could be very important. Okay, now let me show you. This is my my food pantry. I don't keep the food in the car now because it's super hot. And in my, I have 2 items. I have soup that I buy for 50 cents, and I have milk. Okay, I have milk, you have kids, I have a can of food, you are hungry. You get the idea? Now, these are also great for car food. You know, like I've been working, the only thing I've had was, unless I forgot something, that little, I buy these at Walmart for 50 cents. That's a good thing because they're cheap and you can eat them in your car. Say if you were evacuating. And notice this one has the flip top, and also these are 96 cents at Walmart, so you're saving 6%. You do that 10 times, you can buy a can of soup. Okay, and I keep spoons in there, and notice this was from the Sunday. I must have used my own, and I didn't eat my nuts, so they're in there. So now this stuff is not too bad. You've seen me do it in the car videos. Have you guys noticed that in certain restaurants there's no dollar hamburger? There's no dollar burrito? So instead of $1, you could do this 2 times. Eating in the car is hard without making a big fat mess. If you don't have much money and you can't get a stockpile, go to the food bank. Sometimes they give you food, store that in a cool place. And I save my Coke. Your most valuable thing for barter is probably going to be food, and one good thing is peanut butter. Number 2, gas. What good is your car if you don't have any gas? 3 is coats, heavy duty coats. Okay, if you live in these cold areas, they are predicting the coldest winters ever. Stockpile some coats. You don't have a coat, God forbid, but you have this. Either way, you're screwed. You don't have any food, you're screwed. It's freezing cold and the power grid goes down and you don't have a coat, you're screwed. You're gonna die. This is one thing that generated so much hatred in my heart for the people in the old apartments, because I had to donate 2 trunkfuls of coats that it took me all year to find. They weren't worth much money because I got them at a cheap price, but I was planning on selling them. As it ended up, it was okay that I donated them. And another thing is I had to donate one of my cars. The guy I donated desperately needed a car, but that was so annoying to me. Let's just say I hope the person living in my apartment really needed it. Okay, number 3, heavy duty coats and blankets. Number 4, soap. You're gonna need bath soap, all kinds of soap. That's something you want to stockpile. Okay, number 5, although this is food, this is good for barter. Sugar, flour, yeast, and salt. So you can make bread. You know how bad it's going to be if you don't have any bread. There's not very much food. It's going to be really, really bad. Okay, that's number 5. Number 6, vehicles. Those are valuable for barter, for selling. Motorcycles, mopeds, and bicycles. Preferably mountain bikes. You know, at one time I could buy mountain bikes very, very cheap. In fact, we did buy my son quite a few mountain bikes. So, number 6, mountain bikes. Number 7, coffee, tea, and Dr. Pepper. You would think it was Diet Coke, but no, you guys, Dr. Pepper. And you know what was terrible in Iraq? If the cans got too hot, they couldn't have any Dr. Pepper. That was very miserable for our troops. You never think about that. Also, tobacco. Okay, that was number 8. Number 9, shoes, hiking boots, heavy-duty shoes that can withstand a lot of wear and tear and the elements like rain. Number 10. We were just talking about this earlier today. Why newspaper? Because it can be used for toilet paper. Back in the day, if you had an outhouse, there was newspaper in the outhouse. But there's another bad thought. If they start doing away with printed papers, don't be thinking you can easily get newspaper. So you're going to want to stockpile newspaper. Okay, 11, wood and coal. You want things that can be burned. Now, my grandmother used to buy 50 tons of coal. That's what they burned. This is not bad. If you've never eaten these soups out of the can, these 50-cent soups, I do it every once in a while. If I was really broke, I would eat one of these and eat a piece of bread. So on the $5 challenge, $5 for 3 days, 1 loaf of bread, and 3 cans of soup would be $1.50. And that would leave you $3.50. I'm still going to be doing these, as a matter of fact. Okay, number 12, matches. That's going to be bad. I mean, unless you want to be out there, you know, like Boy Scouts. Probably want to put candles, matches and candles. Camp gear, number 13. I stockpile camp gear, and guess what? You can't find camp gear like you used to. I used to be able to walk into any thrift store, and I could find some decent camp gear. You want to get camp stoves, barbecues, little hibachis, stuff like that. Number 14, I put this one separate, sleeping bags. Those would be good for barter. 15, seeds. You don't have to buy seeds. Just start stockpiling the seeds out of the food you eat. Take out the seeds and, save them. Number 16, coolers. Back in the day, they had ice boxes. And they would deliver, I am so old. Oh my gosh, I'm so old. They would deliver ice, and it was just a little box, it wasn't insulated like a cooler. It was actually like a wooden box, and you put your block of ice in there, and it was an ice box. Admittedly, these were some pretty poor people. You guys, this is doable. This is not bad. That'd be good for dispersing to the homeless. Number 17, pocket knives. They can come in handy for all kinds of reasons, but they could also be used as a weapon. I think switchblades are pretty much illegal, but I used to be able to buy them. So here's one of my little weapons. If you've been following me, you have seen it. And if somebody tried to attack me, I would try to stab them in the neck. If you're stabbing with the right and they're on top of you, then you stab them hopefully in the jugular vein or the eye, which would be a mean thing to do, but they're attacking you. And then I have another weapon in here, a rock. And I would try to hit them in the head, but not in a car, because you might hit yourself. Okay, number 18, tarps. Tarps can be very valuable for keeping the elements off of you. Okay, now this is a good one, and this one is very, very important. And if you have the ability to dehydrate, beef jerky. You guys have heard the story about my relative coming across the plains, and they were nearly starving. And they had buffalo meat, and he would cut a little piece off, and he survived. He probably shouldn't have, but he did. Fruit ropes. You can learn to make fruit ropes. I would learn to make those and store fruit ropes for fruit. And then you can just tear off a little piece and eat it. Okay, dehydrated onions and bell peppers, and then salt and pepper. Those are good for barter. Uh-oh, I'm losing my 19, 20, 21. Okay, 22 trash cans, metal. What they're really good for is keeping your food in so they don't become infested or contaminated. They're very expensive now though, but you can still get them. Okay, 23, silver and gold. And you might be going, I can barely get by now. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go through all the coins you get, and you're gonna find out which coins were silver, like before 1964, and you're gonna hang on to those. Those are silver, tiny bits of silver. Also, if you live near, like strip mining, they have strip mines in Elko, Nevada, and when the water runs off, chances are you're going to be able to mine some gold nuggets. What you would want to do is you want to try to accumulate them by screens. Set up some screens and see if you can capture some gold nuggets. They might save your life. Tires. You know what's going to happen if things get really, really crappy and you don't have any tires and you can't get any tires, or you had tires? The tires could become very valuable. You really, really need a weapon though. They want to take our weapons, and I think that'd be the worst thing ever. How are you supposed to protect your food? How are you supposed to protect your family? My family that had to run for their lives, if they didn't have weapons, they would have been murdered right then and there. From what I've heard, they have asked for voluntary retrieval of weapons. So don't give up your weapons. Wood burning stoves, or any kind of stoves. So you can make little fires like hibachis. You can make little fires and stay warm. I worked in shops, and here we're so paranoid and rightfully so, but they had butane cooking stoves in the beauty shops, and they would cook meals for us. That was good. But also they could be used to keep you warm if you were smart and you knew how to do it. You know, stoves. And then I have one more, pens and pencils. I am not kidding you guys. The 20th century, I worked in shops and they had no pens and no pencils. How are you supposed to say so-and-so called and take a number? And then the next thing you know, all my flipping pencils and papers was missing. So for barter, pencils and pens. And, okay, if you like this video, I would like a thumbs up. If you have a great comment, or a nice, lovable comment, or if you're new, say, hi, I'm new. That would be appreciated. Or if you have some items for barter, or if you have some, a video, if you let us know so we can all watch it. And if you would like to become part of the Crazy Chief family and subscribe, that would be great, because then we're going to get more good input from the outside. And so this creates a valuable asset of people that are going to be contributing ideas that could literally save someone's life. If you have kids, I'm telling you, stockpile milk. I wouldn't even take out of town without milk. The time that we had the fire, the really bad fire, I had to go get my niece. I had my trunk packed full of milk. We had tons of babies in the family at that time. Okay, you guys, God bless you all.